Have you ever looked at a giant tree and just wondered, what does it even eat? I mean, it can't move, it can't hunt for food. Well, the answer is pretty incredible. It makes its own food from just three simple things: sunlight, water, and air. So today, we're going to dive into the process that powers pretty much all life on Earth.
You know, turning sunshine into an actual meal sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel, doesn't it? But it's a real biological process, and it's happening all around us all the time. So how on earth do they do it? Let's get into it.
Okay, so the official name for this amazing trick is photosynthesis. I know, it sounds like a real mouthful from a science textbook, but stick with me here, because if we just break that word apart, the whole mystery starts to unravel pretty quickly.
All right, let's start with the first half. Photo. This comes from a Greek word that just means light. It's actually the same root word as in photograph, which, if you think about it, is literally a picture drawn with light. So, our first big clue is that light is definitely involved.
Now for the second half, synthesis. This is another Greek word, and it simply means putting together. You know, you might synthesize music or synthesize an argument. It's all about combining different pieces to create something brand new.
So, when we put those two parts together, photosynthesis, it literally just means to put things together using light. See? Suddenly that big, scary science word is actually pretty straightforward, isn't it? Plants are simply using light to build their own food.
Now that we've decoded the name, let's head into the kitchen. Just like any good recipe, photosynthesis needs a few key ingredients to make the magic happen. And here's the entire shopping list. First up, they grab carbon dioxide right out of the air around us. Second, they pull up water from the soil through their roots. And finally, the most important part, sunlight, which provides all the energy to power the whole operation.
Okay, so we have our ingredients, but where is the kitchen? For that, we need to zoom right in on the plant's personal solar-powered food factory, the leaf.
Here's something that might surprise you. Plants breathe. Seriously. But they don't have lungs or a nose like we do. Nope. They use a completely different and kind of cool system to pull gases out of the air.
They actually breathe through thousands of tiny little openings on their leaves called stomata. You can almost think of them like microscopic mouths, opening and closing to inhale that key ingredient we talked about, carbon dioxide.
And this is where this incredible exchange happens. The plant takes in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and in return, it releases oxygen as a kind of waste product. Now, hang on to that thought, because that waste is incredibly important for us. All right, let's zoom in one more level, even deeper. Inside the cells of the leaf, we find the real engines of this factory. They're these tiny green structures called chloroplasts, and this is where all the action really takes place.
The absolute star of the show inside these chloroplasts is a pigment called chlorophyll. It has two really critical jobs. First, it's a master at soaking up energy from sunlight, acting like a tiny solar panel. And second, its unique chemical properties are exactly what gives plants their green color.
Okay, let's do a quick recap. The plant has used chlorophyll to capture sunlight, its stomata to take in carbon dioxide, and its roots to drink up water. All the ingredients are in the factory. So, what are the finished products? And, maybe more importantly, why should we care? So, this factory produces two main things. First, sugar. This is the plant's food. It's the fuel it uses to live and to grow. The second product is oxygen, which it just releases back into the air as a byproduct of the whole process. And that brings us to this really powerful nickname that plants have earned. Because they're constantly taking in one gas and breathing out another, they are quite literally the lungs of our planet. It creates this beautiful, life-sustaining cycle. We humans breathe in the oxygen that plants release, and then we exhale carbon dioxide. The plants then take in that carbon dioxide and use it to make more food, and, you guessed it, more oxygen for us to breathe. It really is a perfect partnership. Which really leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about. If we depend on this whole process for the very air we breathe, and if plants truly are the lungs of our world, what's our responsibility to make sure they can keep on breathing?